All right, guys, welcome back. Another episode here, the 90 Saga Cards podcast, the only one of one Saga Card podcast in the world. Thank you again for joining. For those who have subscribed, liked, and reviewed the podcast, I appreciate all of you very much. And please continue to do that and comment on the various podcasts, uploads, whatever you may do on Instagram as well. That helps. Hope you guys are liking the reels. The goal of the reels really is to get you to listen to the full podcast. So hopefully you're doing that as well. They're not that long. I've actually tried to cut them down a little bit. Once in a while, we'll make them longer. But I think as of now, I think these kind of 30 to 35-minute podcasts are working for most people, which is great. So any improvements, let me know. Also, if there's anybody out there that wants to do like some free like editing or anything like that, let me know, man, because I could use the help. I'm trying to do all this stuff. I do all the research. So any help is always appreciated. And again, greatly appreciated if anybody wants to volunteer to help. The other thing is on the Ultimate 90 site, that will be launching very shortly again. I know I keep saying it's about a month and a half, but we're almost our more man shop. So I'm also looking for people that might want to help with that site. And it's not a paying job or anything like that. But eventually, if it does become something, maybe it's something that you can use on your resume, or maybe if it does someday generate revenue, you get a piece of the action too. I'm not sure. So if you're interested, just shoot me a message. Could probably use some like help with the web development for it. I kind of want to change the design a little bit now that the focus is kind of changed on what that's going to be. So looking forward to that. And again, if you're not following me on Instagram, it's at Special One Cards, SPECIALONE Cards on Instagram. Please throw me a follow. I will follow you back. I generally try to follow everybody back that does throw me a follow. Sometimes I miss people, obviously, because I'm not on there all the time, but I try to be on there periodically throughout the day. So yeah, I think it would be cool if you do. If you aren't following me there yet, please follow me there as well. That'd be fantastic. Other reminder is on. Let me check my phone again because I can't remember when I scheduled this for. I am doing a whatnot show on Thursday morning, I believe, and a few people have messaged me asking me what I'll have on the show. I'm gonna have a lot of stuff, like a lot of cards from $1 to $20. I'll have a few slabs, things of that nature. Other cards that are not graded yet, but they will be graded. They'll be higher than the $20 kind of. So there'll be a variety of things. So there'll be something for everybody. A lot of stuff is gonna start at $1, so people might get some steals. So make sure you bookmark that show. And if you're not part of Whatnot yet, you can use the bookmark I put in the stories yesterday, and you'll get like a $5 or a $10 credit. I can't even remember. It's something like that. But that show is it's at 11 a.m. Eastern on Thursday. That would be October 3rd. So hopefully a lot of you guys can join me there. There'll be a lot of dollar kind of auction starting. There'll be a few slabs, a few raw cards that I might grade. I'm not sure yet. I may even just move them. We're at a point now in the hobby where you can grade, but the length of time it takes for stuff to get back. And I think with soccer, I don't think we're in that position right now, because I think with soccer, we'll continue to see price kind of fluctuations. Not so much that it's going to hurt you to wait for a graded card, but I think, over the course of the next year with the World Cup coming up, it's probably the best thing to do is probably to grade instead of just selling some singles like I'm going to do. So 11 a.m. Thursday Eastern Standard Time. Go bookmark my show. Come on. I'm going to just, I have to actually upload. I gotta try to get that stuff typed in between today and Thursday. Get all the cards I'm gonna put on there and put the auction on there at $1 or whatever it is. I'm gonna run them just in a row. I know sometimes people come in, they're like, "What do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this?" That's fine. I'll try to accommodate those people that come in, but I'm generally gonna go through the box, and whatever's in that box, I'm just gonna run it. And again, it takes some time to upload the cards, take the pictures, upload the details of the card, things of that nature. So I appreciate anybody that's gonna join to talk about that or be there to support the sales I'm going to be doing. So, and some of you saw me at the soccer card show in New Jersey, and know I give good deals. So I'm really looking forward to, helping a lot of you out, particularly in doing some really good deals. So that's kind of the plan for Thursday. And then the second podcast we will probably release either Thursday late or Friday morning. I'm probably going to go Tuesday to Fridays now. I'm trying to get a really consistent. I think right now I'm doing 2 a week, which is great, but I need to do like certain days, Tuesdays and Fridays maybe will be the way to go, and we'll go from there. Still trying to get the Northern Soccer Card Expo guys on. That's the all soccer card show that's happening up in Canada, Toronto, the same week of the expo. For those that don't know, the expo is kind of like the national for the Canadian market in Toronto. As of now, I'm trying to go. I'm not certain yet. Hopefully those guys Northern Soccer Card Expo. I may try to get a table. So I think I have a deadline of October 25th to get a table. So hopefully I can have a decision by then and get the table for that event and be a part of it in that capacity, selling some things and trying to pass on some deals to the Canadians up there. And then some of you Americans that are going, if you're going, let me know. I would love to link up. Obviously, I still haven't booked a place, so I still got to do that. Hopefully I can find something close, not like last time where I kind of was a little out of the way, not that out of the way, but I was in Brampton and I was told not to stay there, and I stayed there. My goal is to go up there Thursday, hopefully leave Thursday from here, maybe around noon or something, get up there for 7 p.m., maybe 6 p.m. or so. That would kind of be the goal. If I am going alone, I'm not sure if my wife and kid are coming. They might come. We'll see. If we go on Friday, maybe that's what we do, and then come back Sunday. So that's the goal. So that shows November 6th up in Toronto, guys. If you need more details, check out their Instagram, Northern Soccer Card Expo. I think it's called Northern Soccer Card Expo. I'm trying to remember, and I can't remember. And we'll go to Instagram a little bit because we need to touch on some things there. Let's take a quick break, and we're going to go right into the episode. All right, guys. Now that we get that out of the way, the checklist of items coming up with the Whatnot show and the different podcasts coming out this week. Another one coming out later this week, and the Northern Card Soccer Expo come up in Toronto. A lot of exciting stuff going on. Also, the All Soccer Card Show is returning as well. Look for an official announcement off their webpage. That will be coming up, some news on that. So I'm not going to divulge too much yet as of now, but we will at some point divulge that information. All right, now, a few quick things I want to go into. I did a post the other day on Mbappe's rookie stickers, the gold parallel and the base sticker. I'm going to talk to you why those are important to kind of start to look at so that you guys understand why I think there's opportunity there. First, let's start with this. So recently they asked Messi a question about the top 10 most promising talents in the world of football. I gave him 10 names. I'm going to go down the list for you guys. This is no particular order either, okay? Nico Paz, Argentinian, just like Lionel Messi. You figured he'd be on the list. Kendry Paez from Ecuador. You know how I feel about him. I'm not a big fan. I don't think he's really improved in the last year, so I'm not sure what happens with him. He's been okay in League One, hasn't been spectacular, but the season is still young, so we'll see what happens there. Rio Nugumua, the Englishman. Mohamed Kader, mate, Frenchman. Clara Saragordi from Spain. Brajan Gruda from Germany. Mika Gotz from Belgium. Andre Santos, which we've talked about many times. He does have a Prism rookie in the EPL product from a few years ago. Louis Johannes from the United States. And then Rodrigo Moura from, of course, Portugal and Porto. Now, interesting enough, he didn't put Lamine Yamal on that list. And a lot of people have noted that, but I don't actually think that's what he meant to do. I don't think he meant to omit him or he meant to, let's say, exclude him off the list. I think this was more of a, he's Lamine Yamal's already established, so he didn't want to include him on the list because he's already established. So I don't make too much of that in terms of him not including him, but I just, I think some people are taking that a little too seriously, and it's not that big of a deal, I don't think. So I wouldn't worry too much about that, especially if you're collecting Lamine Yamal. His prices are down a little bit, which probably presents a good time to buy right now, if you think about that. The Champions League coming up Tuesday morning and afternoon, actually Tuesday afternoon. If you're on the East Coast like me, I think that Barcelona starts early at 12:45, and then the afternoon you have some really good games. Arsenal, Atletico Madrid, which should be a really good game. I think that game potentially is probably going to be a draw. We'll see. If I'm a betting man and here and there, I do some parlays. I'll probably put a parlay in for this. Nice little $5 parlay. I would probably take the draw in this game, Atletico and Arsenal. I would also probably throw Julian Alvarez in there to score a goal. Man City, Villarreal, I really like Man City in that matchup. I would suspect taking Erling Haaland. He's been hot to score a goal. Inter, Union Saint-Gilloise. Inter should win that game probably 2-0, I would bet. PSV Napoli, I would suspect Napoli wins. Now, Newcastle, Benfica is the game I'll be keeping my eyes on. Obviously, I'm a Benfica fan. This could be a turning moment for them. They kind of need the 3 points here. So I would suspect Mourinho goes for the win and doesn't play it safe for the tie. At Chelsea, they played really well, I thought. So I would expect them to. I wouldn't be surprised if Benfica wins the game. I really wouldn't. But I'm hoping for a draw at the minimum there from Benfica, which would be good. Sorry, my phone's buzzing here. But Copenhagen, Dortmund, I expect Dortmund there to win probably 1-0. PSG, Bayer Leverkusen. PSG still does not have. I don't think Neves is going to be on the game, starting in the game. He might be on the bench to begin. But Warren Zaire Emery will get the start for in that midfield. Dembele, I think, is out as well. I would still expect PSG being as strong as they've been. They've shown some frailty in the French league thus far, but I expect them to probably win a 2-0, 3-0 against Leverkusen. Leverkusen's kind of in turmoil here. Barcelona going to Olympiacos, like I said, it's kind of a tough game. No, excuse me, they're the home team. Barcelona's the home team. I expect Barcelona to probably win by 3 or 4 goals there. So we'll see what happens in those games. For me, obviously, Benfica need to watch that game. So back to that discussion on Lamine Yamal being excluded from that list. I don't think it's a big deal, so I wouldn't really kind of ponder that too much. All right, so guys, I want to talk about. I had a post up on Instagram, I believe a day or two ago, on the Mbappe stickers. There's 2 of them that, and I'm just gonna kind of pull up it on my Instagram so you can see the chart. It might be best here. So let's look at this chart. I'm going to share my screen right here and kind of dive into it for you guys a little bit so you guys understand how I look at these numbers, what I kind of evaluate when I'm looking at it. Here we go, Instagram. Here we go. So the gold there on the side there, that's the last sales price was $456. A base sold for $67 of the Mbappe. Total graded of the gold, 789. There's only 90 gems, 90 PSA 10s, 11% gem rate. There's 3,904 of the other one graded. There's 1,498 PSA 10s of that, and the gem rate is 38%. Now, here's the issue I have with this. My calculation, right? If we use my calculator that I used in the past for the scarcity value, the gold sticker is actually worth like 7K, but that's not the that's kind of a measure for me to look at things and try to understand them. Now, when you look at the pop count here, right, significant difference, right, in total pop and even in PSA 10s. With 90 PSA 10s and 1,498 of the base, that's almost a what is that, a 15x kind of multiplier there? Let me do some quick math here. It's almost 15 times. I would say, like, in terms of, wow, man, my brain is mush today, but it's about 16x, right? So 16x. So when you look at this, you have to understand the gold version, right, of this card. And how limited they are. So you get a full understanding of the 2018 Mbappe Gold sticker number 209 out of the World Cup. And why am I talking about these 2 stickers in particular? I think these 2 stickers are going to be 2 stickers that will be very valuable in the years to come. And I haven't really done the breakdown here, and maybe I'll do it live here so you guys can understand why these present opportunity. Both of them do. I think they're going to be 2 very liquid stickers for this coming year with the World Cup coming up. So you guys get an understanding of the 2018 Panini World Cup stickers. Set featured 670 stickers, players, teams, and tournament highlights, as well as like gold edition. So Mbappe's number 209 is the gold edition. It's a key rookie. It's his first World Cup sticker. Why that's significant? Look at the Messi and the Ronaldo values, all right? Messi's got a World Cup. Mbappe's got a World Cup. Needless to say, Mbappe does not have the same accolades as Messi quite yet, but I think he will get there. You won't get them all. I would suspect Mbappe wins maybe 2 to 3 Ballon d'Ors, maybe a few Champions Leagues, and maybe another World Cup. So ultimately, it could come down and he could be considered maybe one of the best at that point in time. But so you get an idea on the Panini print run. They don't publish their print runs on the gold sticker. But here's what I'm going to tell you about the gold sticker. They were randomly inserted into sticker packs in boxes at very low odds. So they were 1 in 50 to 1 in 100 packs based on the reports from collectors I've seen online and the set breakdown from the numbers I've looked at and researched. So they were 1 in 50 or 1 in 100 packs based on the reports I saw. So, that doesn't mean it's everything. That doesn't mean that you're going to get an Mbappe 1 in every 50 or 1 in every 100. You could get a Messi or a Ronaldo or one of those kind of guys, right? But you have to understand that these are significantly rare, right? And I think when I kind of break these down, right, the base one is, you can find them raw between $10 and $50, 50 or 10 to $100. These gold ones, I think I've seen them PSA 9 selling for about 100, which I think is a really good deal. There's also the blackback, which is they're semi-rare, about $40, I think, raw. And then you got the pinkbacks, which is actually number 197. Those are rare. Those are about $90. I've seen those between, I think, no, actually more than that, less than that. Raw, I think $40 to $90 I've seen. And then the PSA 10s in that one, they're similar to what the base ones do, which makes no sense to me. But the number 197 is actually an alternate Mbappe post, which they actually have a different one for that one. So, which is even scarcer. So how do you get these? As of now, obviously eBay, you can find them there, or you know, Heritage, or even Fanatics, or wherever they may be. The gold ones come up really rarely. And I'm not trying to pump these. I own one of them. I haven't graded it yet. I'm going to grade it because I think it might 10. I hope it does, obviously. But you saw the gem rates are really low. So again, those golds are 1 in 50. So if you want to rip a bunch of stickers and have fun doing that, I think those boxes are pretty cheap, actually. But if you, I guess, kind of the tips for success here, right, is start with a raw, then grade it, and then you see what you do. You know, PSA 9 could flip for $100, $125 in the gold, and not in the base. The base PSA 10s do about, I think, 100, 125. We could look at that later on, but I think it's significant. Again, going back to what I'm really kind of not concerned about, but I think where the opportunity lies is when you see that pop count for PSA 10s, 90 versus 1498, right? You have to start to wonder, right? And that $67 sale, that PSA 10 base one there, seems a little low, because generally they go from 100 to 125. But if you do the math on if you 16x that base price of that, even at 100, right? Well, let's do the loan. Let's do the $67. $7 times 16x multiplier is 1,072. This gold version, I'm not saying it's worth $1,072. In my eyes, from a data perspective and analytics, and when I look at the scarcity calculator again, it actually says a sticker's worth about 7K, which it's not, obviously. But that's kind of a good basis for you. Do you understand what I'm saying there? I hope you do. That gold sticker should be $1,000. No question asked about that. Would I pay $1,000 for it? Probably not. Considering you can buy a PSA 9 rookie for around that cost of Mbappe. But would I pay $500 to $700? Possibly, yes. World Cup winning year, gold, semi-rare, a pretty rare, it's not semi-rare, it's rare. It's a rare sticker. So, and then, you know, when you start to compare the pop counts with the Messis and the Ronaldos of the world, you start to get a better indication and understand exactly, and we're going to use Messi as an example, even though Messi's accomplished a lot more, but I think he's a good basis for us to think about in terms of this kind of forecasting or kind of predictive behavior on what the cost will be for this sticker or down the line. Again, this is kind of a, I would say, a long-term play. It's not really a short-term play. I wouldn't call it short-term. I mean, it could be. Short-term would be next Summer World Cup. And Bobby pops off, his stickers go wild. And there you have it, right? That's what happens. But when you look at Messi's numbers, right, because there really weren't kind of parallels for those stickers back then. In the 2006 World Cup stickers. PSA 10 just sold for $2,500 on September 29th, and the pop count's 134 on this card. And card ladder value is let me show that screen so you guys can see it. So you guys get a good idea what I'm talking about here. So the Messi, here it is. Let me X out of this though first because I want to kind of show you something different. So there's the list of sales, right? You have a sale for $2,500, $3,000, $2,999, $2,660, $2,500. So they're all right there. Somebody got a good deal here on August 7th. So let's look at the September 29th kind of data here, right? And when you look at this, right, you see that there's 134 of these. So the Mbappe is a parallel. It's rarer than the Messi. Card ladder values the PSA 10 Messi sticker of 2006, which has 153 gems. Excuse me, that's across all grading platforms. 134 PSA 10s. It's valued at 2462. Is there anywhere in this world that this Mbappe should be, that much less than a Messi? I don't think so. I think that's about 70% difference in price in terms of the Mbappe gold versus the Messi. All right. You guys understand what I'm doing here, right? You guys understand exactly what I'm saying here. I hope you do, because, and if you don't agree with my kind of analysis here, let me know. I just think that Mbappe gold sticker is a significant value right now, even at $700, $800. I think it is. given his history. Even you have to start to think about this, because if you say $1,000 for that Mbappe sticker, right, versus that Messi, that card ladder values at 2,400, I think I said. Yeah, they value at 2,400 the PSA 10. That's still significantly less. I think it's 60% of the value of a Messi sticker. Yes, Messi's accomplished more, but they both have a World Cup. Messi didn't win a World Cup in that year in 2006 either, but it is first World Cup card sticker. And then the Mbappe, it's his first World Cup sticker. It's his first World Cup win too as well. So that's kind of where I'm going with this. If you guys get what I'm saying, again, do as you please with it. I'm gonna kind of try to pull up the Mbappe now too. I'm gonna look at card ladder just to get a kind of a breakdown here to look at what card ladder says, so you guys can see it too as well. Messi, nope, that's not Messi. We're looking at Mbappe. Yeah, I bought one a few months back, a gold, and I'm hoping that it looks really good. The centering's really good on it. Um, it's really a nice card. So a PSA 8 just sold for $25 recently. Then you have the Carrefour stickers as well, which we'll get into that very shortly. Those are cool. I just don't know if those are really in demand as much as, let's say, the World Cup ones. Some people, they're nice stickers too, don't get me wrong. In regards to those Carrefour stickers of Mbappe, it was a French issued sticker in France. And but I want to go over the 2018 gold card ladder data that we can find here. Last sale here. I'm gonna share my screen again. Hopefully you guys like when I share my screen. I think it does help you guys kind of visualize things a little bit better. So a PSA 8 sold for $25.20 on October 19th. Good price. You have this one here, and actually let me click on this because I want to look at the pop count. 204 across all platforms. PSA 8s are 90. 461.40 is what card ladder values that at. PSA 9s values at 94.10. PSA 8.5 at $48. So 11% gem rate. So really a gamble in terms of buying these raw and grading them. Just look for centering. You know what I would do if you have card ladder, and I should have that should be up soon, the affiliate. So if anybody wants to join card ladder and use my affiliate code after, please do. I'm going to try to get that finished up this week with them as well, so I can actually promote that on Instagram before my next podcast. But here's a PSA 10 that sold. There it is right there. Use this as a basis to decide if yours can PSA 10 or not. You look at the centering here. It looks a little heavy on this side, but it's not too bad. It's not horrible, and that could be my eyes too. But that's a PSA 10 sold for $456. And some of you that were at the card show in New Jersey, if you guys recall, I mentioned this to you guys at that point in time in that weekend, because I was going to buy two PSA 10s that weekend. Not that they weren't at the show, but they were on the Fanatics page for Buy It Nows for $300, and I really wanted to buy them, and I totally forgot. And as soon as Sunday hit, there was one on auction, and it sold for over $400. So snooze you lose. So I didn't take my own advice. But so here's a raw one that sold for $10. And you look at this one, the top is all whitening, so it's not very good. Somebody took a shot on that, but maybe they're just collectors. Is a PSA 8 and 6 sold for 50, which they probably did pretty good. They could sell that 8 and get their money back. PSA 10 420. So this is the same weekend. This is the weekend I was talking about. This one was on weekly on the Fanatics auction for 420. It sold. So I think this is a significant card to start to think about for Mbappe. Both the base one. Let's go here, Panini. Let's see if it pops up. There it is. There's a PSA 10, $99, right? You can actually find these for under $99. I think this sticker is still significant to me. It's the pop counts are high on these, the PSA 10s, 69. They're not that high though when you compare it to Messi. Actually, no, the Messi only had about 134. A little high, but is this significantly lower? It shouldn't be this high, this low. You know what I mean? 4x lower than a Messi, maybe. I don't know. And now this is me kind of data crunching in my head. I just want you guys to understand how I look at things, and I think some of you do. And you have to look at this to find opportunities where you can make some money. Now, me being the person that I am, I flip some things and some things I don't. The gold sticker, if that gems, I'm keeping it because I'm a long-term player on that sticker. First World Cup, first parallel gold, won a World Cup that year, first World Cup sticker, etc. That's why I talk about that. That's important. So there are the Carrefour stickers. There's base and there's the golds versions of these cards, of these stickers, I should say. I always get confused the stickers. So these are very similar to the Portugal, the Ouro collection. I think that was 2010 or 2011 released, where you see the Ronaldo and Lionel Messi image for the first time together on a sticker. It's called Explosivo, for those that remember that one. That's got a really low pop card. But these are similar to that set. These were also produced by Panini in 2018. It is from the Panini Fier d'être Blues, Proud to be Blues translation collection, a promotional tie-in with the national team ahead of the 2018 FIFA World Cup. So this is a France-specific release, like I said, distinct from the Global Panini World Cup stickers set. So, which again, like I said, that's sticker 209 in the World Cup set. These were produced by Panini in partnership with Carrefour. That's a major Carrefour, for those that don't know, it's a supermarket in France, a major chain, and an official sponsor of the French Football Federation. It celebrated the Le Bleu squad with Mbappe featured as the rising star in it, and sure enough, of course, he went on to World Cups. They picked the right guy for that. The set included 96 stickers focusing on the player profiles, team history, and World Cup prep. The collection, while it was only released in France, it was very popular in France. For those that don't know, at that time, Mbappe was only 19, so that was exciting. And that set released on May 18th, May 8th, 2018. Some stores stocked the albums and paid packs as early as April of that year. And then it ended June 24th, which was when the World Cup group stage ended in 2018. So availability in a lot of locations was gone. So that's what happened with those. So you had the Mbappe number 47, the action shot in the France Kids number 53 as well. There's also the Fier d'être Blues subset. There's Team Group Shot with historical nods to the 98 World Cup winners in that set. And then there's shiny silver parallels as well for selected players like Mbappe number 5 and number 12 are in the silver series. The album format was actually, for those that like stickers like this with the albums, there was a hardcover collector's album that was available. There was 2 cover variants for that. One was a standard blue, and the other was a grand deluxe edition. It was sold empty for €2.90. Pretty cheap for hardcover, right? Fully completed albums now, they fetch 50 to 100 on the resale market. Obviously, the stickers themselves and PSA slabs are better to have. And I'm wondering now if Dembele had a sticker in there too as well, because he might have had one. And Dembele, actually, I haven't talked about this on He's Doing It Real. He just joined that triple gold club too as well. So pretty cool that he joined that with that Ballon d'Or win. So how was it distributed? So they ran this as a customer loyalty and shopping incentive program. So basically, the retailer, the supermarket Carrefour, was blending the retail sales with freebies to drive foot traffic to the stores during the pre-World Cup hype. So it was, again, like I said, exclusive to Carrefour stores, a supermarket in France. There was no international distribution beyond resale. The breakdown went like this. The distribution method for the Carrefours were this. Free packs with purchase. So you got 1 pack, 3 stickers per €30 spent. You got up to 3 packs per transaction with a max of 90 spend. And then for those that had for those that were loyalty card holders at the Carrefour supermarkets, you got an extra free pack when presenting the Carrefour Pass card at the store. And then paid packs, they were available for non-qualifying purchases. They were 50 cents in euros per pack, and then the album purchase, like I said, was $2.90. Total reach: 10 million packs were distributed in the first month alone. And albums sold 150,000 units of the albums were sold in France. So pretty interesting kind of distribution strategy here. The variants in this, like I said, you had the base, which is a common pull, matte finish, very standard. Then you had the silver, or argent, as they would say in argente or argent in French. Shiny parallel, very low odds, 1 in 10 to 20 packs per collector packs. And then the Mbappe silver is a key chase card. And I have not looked at the data on those. I probably should, because they're probably important. There was no numbered autographs or versions in there. She comes in the line of the promo limits. Again, you go to the store, you spend 90, you get 3. That's the max. You spend 180, you only get 3 still. That was the kicker. Again, exclusive to France. Before Mbappe's World Cup hero, where he became the hero of 4 goals. He won the Best Young Player award for the World Cup. kind of a pre-rookie gem if you consider this. And I don't remember when the 2018 World Cup stickers came out. I think they may have come out around the same time, maybe earlier actually. I believe they may have come out earlier. But market value on some of these, you look at the number 47 Mbappe base, 5 to 15 euros. Silver variant, 20 to 50. PSA 9s are 100 to 200. Full set album, 80 to 150. And if you want to look for these on eBay, just search Panini Carrefour, and Carrefour is spelled Carrefour, and look for Mbappe 2018. You can also look on other French sites like Rakuten and Lemoncoin, and I've been on Rakuten before, not Lemoncoin, but you could check those out. And then last, you could also look for those in terms of PSA slabs as well. Really interesting set for any. I may actually try to buy some of these. I don't own any of these, but I'd like to buy some of these. I think just like those Ronaldo stickers out of that other exclusive set from Portugal, I think these potentially in the future could fetch a pretty penny. Again, a lot of the stuff I'm talking about lately is really a kind of a long-term play on what you can expect down the road. I think it's very important that you start to think about, what are the implications here? It's not just a World Cup. It's, 5 years down the road. You're seeing what Messi and Ronaldo stuff have done lately, especially their first World Cup stickers, their first World Cup cards. You have to start thinking that way. As the years go by, wax dries up. Only raw cards are available or slabs. And generally, if they are raw, they're not going to be as nice anymore because people don't take care of their cards anymore. So that's the problem you're going to run into, essentially. All right, guys, I hope you guys have a good rest of the week. Enjoy the Champions League games this afternoon. They'll be fun to watch. I'm looking forward to Benfica. Hopefully they can get a win at Newcastle. I know it's always tough when you are away playing in the stadium of a Premier League giant. Well, Newcastle's not a giant, but they do have some really good fans that are very passionate. So rooting for Benfica, PSG. I guess my parlay is probably going to be Benfica to tie or cover 1.5 goals. Man City to win by 2 goals or more. Erling Haaland to score. Dortmund wins. Napoli wins. Atletico covers 1.5. And then maybe, what's the other one? Julian Alvarez maybe scores 2 as well. That's a good parlay right there. That's probably 7 teams. That probably wins like $1,000 on $20. Not bad. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. I don't want to go too much into it again with the international break. It's been tough, but when the Champions League is back, we'll have more to talk about going forward. So I'm looking forward to the next episode, and hopefully the Northern Soccer Card Expo, guys. If you're on here, answer my messages. We need to schedule a time to talk to get you on the podcast. All right, guys. We'll see you later this week on another podcast. All right. Thank you again for joining. Make sure you share, like, subscribe the episode with your friends. Take care.